thinks you're okay with sleeping with married men. He thinks you are just like her because why? That's your best friend. Okay? And you know what he thinks of her? Nothing. Because he hit. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is, what about your friends? Will they let you down? Yeah, let's talk about it. So if you're new here, we are on the journey of figuring out what life looks like as a single who is waiting on God to send them their mate. And I vow to give out the tips and the tricks that I was looking for when I was single before God gave me my kingdom partner. So if you're interested, stick around. Let's talk about it. Now, this topic may seem trivial or a no-brainer, but I wasn't made aware of this. And today I wanted to reiterate or introduce to some about proximity and how proximity matters in all things, especially your friend group. Proverbs 13:20 says, "Keep company with wise and you will become wise. Keep company with stupid people and you will be ruined." Now, I had this good friend, or so I thought, who was saved and in the church and in the choir and all of the things. But once those doors closed, she was in the bed of married men. And we had done so many books of like wedding planning, of all the things we wanted to do and what we wanted for our wedding, that I was a little confused. And so one day I had the conversation with her and I was like, "Friend, I know you really want to be married, but do you think God is going to send you a husband because you're sleeping with other people's husband?" Child, I don't even know why I said that to her, because she was mad. She swore me down that the Lord would send her somebody else's husband. And I was like, "Not my Lord. I don't know who Lord, but not my Lord, not my Lord." And, our relationship started to dwindle there. But the fact that she was so confident in being someone's side chick and paying his bills and, being mistreated. It wasn't like he was doting on her. He wasn't. He was using her. He was flirting with me. Let's talk about that part. I remember one day she called me on FaceTime and I had on gloss and he complimented my lips. Now that made me feel uncomfortable, but I was more concerned about my friend. Like, you okay with this? After the conversation, I called her and I said, "You good?" She was like, "Yeah, girl, that's just how he is. He be flirting. And I know business." Then one day he jumped into my DMs and he said, you too beautiful to be single and I'd like the chance to take you out. Now I'm confused because at this point she was saying that she hadn't heard from him in 2 to 3 weeks. But now you're in my DM telling me I'm too beautiful to be by myself. So what that told me about proximity was, he think y'all the same. He thinks you're okay with sleeping with married men. He thinks you are just like her because why? That's your best friend. Okay? And you know what he thinks of her? Nothing. Because he went ghost on her for 2 to 3 weeks and he didn't think, or he didn't care enough to know that I was going to go tell her what he did. But the funny thing is he knew her well enough to know that if I told her, she wasn't going to do nothing about it. And that's exactly what happened. Sent her the screenshots. I said, "Friend, you've been looking for your man. Here he go." Crickets. "You good?" I said, "Because this is what's happening in my DM." And did it stop her? No, it didn't stop her. They continued. Now, 1 Corinthians talks about, "Do not be deceived that evil company corrupts good behavior." How long did you think it was going to take for me to start acting that way? So my question is, are you like my friend? Where's your self-esteem that you would allow somebody to ghost you for 2 to 3 weeks and not say anything to you and then jump in your friend DM and then you take them back? Are you like her? I said all that to say, I'm not looking for a perfect friend, and you shouldn't. But if you guys aren't aligned in the things that you want out of life, the goals, the visions, if they're saying that they're Christians and they're doing something totally different and you don't think that somebody's going to rub off on somebody, you're sadly mistaken. So you have to do an assessment of the people around you, because if you can't pick your friends right, how you gonna choose your soulmate the right way? How you gonna know what to look for? And the Bible tells you what happens when you hang around with certain company, right? So they're either gonna pull you in or you're gonna lose out, because he's definitely not gonna give you what you want, because you're basically condoning what they're doing. So do an assessment of your friend group. And I'm not saying this is an easy task. What I'm saying is it can get lonely, okay? It can get very lonely. But I believe God enough that if I am to sacrifice the people that are around me, that is hindering me from going to my next level, or hindering me from getting what I'm asking for, or what I desire, or what I deserve, that he is just enough to send me the right people, okay? The right people with like mindsets. I know that I heard that you're the sum of the 5 people around you. So if they're not going anywhere, how far you think you're going? And as trivial as you may think this is, it is super important, because it wasn't until I decided that I needed to pull away from all those people that I thought were friends. And there were a lot. I have tons of examples, not just one. Tons of examples of people that were going in the opposite direction that I was going in, and I was running in that same little circle, going nowhere, getting nowhere. And it wasn't until I decided to hunker down and wait on God, but do it right, and not have that evil company around me, not have that corrupt mindset around me. It wasn't until then until he gave me my husband. So I'm just saying, and even after he gave me my husband, he was still weeding some people out, because he started to expose them. So check your friends, y'all. Do an assessment of the things that you are seeing with your eyes and the things that you are agreeing with. Because if you don't say nothing and you're still around it, you're in agreement with it. Do an assessment. Do an assessment. And if it's not in line with where you want to go, or what you want to do, or where you see yourself years in the future, then you might have to do some cutting off. You might have to walk away. You might have to be set apart if you really want what God has for you. This isn't a mandate. This is just your choice, and we all have choices. So you can either choose to stay around those people who are corrupt and not get what you want or what you deserve, or you can choose to walk away and wait on God to do exactly what he needs to do for you and through you. Until next time, guys. Bye.